Hello everyone, my name is Abu Bakr Salim and welcome to my channel. In this tutorial, we are going to learn about a concept of global variables and local variables in C language. Well, global variables are the variables whose scope is present in the entire program. There are some variables that we can create and they exist in entire program. Whatever the function that we are using, they exist there. We can use them anywhere in the program. And these variables are not limited to a specific function. On the other hand, local variables are those variables which are limited to a specific function and their scope is also limited. So we can use them in a function, but we cannot use those variables outside that function. Or we can use those variables in a block, like we can use them in a while block, uh, for loop block, or if block, but we cannot use them outside that block. We have done so many programs that contains for loop, and in those loops, whenever we create a variable in that loop, that's a local variable. Therefore, that for loop. We'll be discussing that shortly. Here's an example of a global variable and a local variable. You can see on the second line, int var is equal to 10. Here var is a global variable because it has been declared at the beginning of the program and its scope is present in the entire program. Now we can use this variable anywhere we want to use it. On the other hand, there is another variable which is present in main function and that the name of that variable is I. Now this variable is limited to main function. We cannot use this variable outside the main function. So today we will be discussing different examples in which I'll be telling you about global variables and local variables in detail. So let's get started. So let's suppose I'm going to create a loop and I'm going to create a loop controlling variable I and its initial value is 1, I is less than 10, I plus plus, and here is, let's suppose, int b is equal to 5. So this is the functionality that I have implemented in the main function. Now let's suppose I want to use this I variable and b variable outside the loop. Let's suppose I want to do this and let's see what happens. So now when I have used I and b outside the loop, there is an error and it means that we cannot use the variable outside the loop. You can see the errors here at the bottom. Identifier I is unidentified. Identifier B is unidentified. So it means that these variables are not declared. Though they were declared in for loop, but their scope is not valid in outside the for loop. So it means that a variable that only exists in a specific block is known as a local variable. And a global variable is a variable which I'm going to create now. I'm going to name it var is equal to 5. Now this is a global variable and we can use it anywhere. We can use it either here, we can use it outside, like print f var is equal to percentage d, and I'm going to print the value of var. So now when I will run the program, you'll see that var is equal to 5 has been printed on the screen. So that's the difference between a local variable and a global variable. Similarly, if we have a function. Let's suppose yesterday we created a function of sum in a previous video. So int sum is equal to int a comma int b. Now these two variables a and b are local variable for sum function. And if we use these variables here in this loop, let's suppose I write a is equal to b. Now when I will do that, there will be an error, and that error is going to be the same that we have seen previously. That error is going to be that identifier a and identifier b are unidentified. So a and b is present in sum and they are valid there. We can use them in that function, but we cannot use these variables in this main function. If we want to do that, we have to create int a comma b. Okay, now there is a difference between the variables a and b in main function and the variables a and b in sum function. Those four variables are different from each other. We have to remember that. So that's a very basic concept of local variables and global variables in C programming language. I hope that you have understood the concept. If there is any question, you can ask me, and I hope that you are liking my content. And if that's so, please subscribe the channel and please share my videos with your friends. Thank you so much.